From the producers of God's Not Dead.
Religion has been removed from our schools. They're teaching kids that they don't need God.
Witness the next chapter in the God's Not Dead series.
That you're really chipping away at our freedoms and liberties. You work for us.
You are out of order, Mr. Hill.
Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
God's Not Dead. We the People. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Limited engagement. Only in theaters October 4th, 5th, and 6th. Get your tickets now.
Joy comes, tears fall. I'm learning there is beauty in it all. It's not hard to find it. You just have to look. Oh, God is good.
Grammy Award-winning artist Francesca Battistelli is my guest today on CIA, Contagious Influencers of America. I'm David Sams. Francesca's, of course, a great, great artist. She's had many, many number one hits on the radio. And, of course, her biggest hit, well, at least as far as I'm concerned, is the chart topper called Holy Spirit. And she's the mom of 5. She's going to talk about that a little bit. And one reason that she wanted to do this next project is because she is a mom of 5 and she believes very much in the in the content of this movie that's coming out. Now, this is the Fathom event that she plays in. She's actually acting in a film called God's Not Dead, We the People. That's right, another God's Not Dead movie's coming out. And this one is quite interesting because it's very newsworthy, very timely. It's all about religious freedom, personal convictions, and the battle for our children's intellect. So you're going to really, really get a lot out of this film. It comes out October the 4th and plays for 3 days only, October 4th through the 6th in theaters. So let's get right to the interview that I recently did with Francesca Battistelli, and she's going to talk about her new role in the movie God's Not Dead, We the People. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Well, the sun is out and it's beautiful outside, and I'm going to go out after this and do my 8 miles of walking and my conference calls. And how can it be any better, right?
Absolutely.
So I understand you have baby number 6 on the way.
I sure do.
Oh my goodness! What's the age range?
The oldest is, almost 11, and the youngest is currently is about 19 months. So. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Now you're not homeschooling these kids, right?
We are actually.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
How do you keep up with that with the range?
You know, I'm still learning. I feel like we're still kind of finding our feet, but it's actually a lot of fun. There's so much you can do with everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, the toddler is just sort of there being loud, but everybody else can really listen to a lot of what we're doing together. You're really just kind of math and language arts, my older 2, and really my kindergartner now. Last year, he was in preschool. This year, I'm like, I guess I got to teach you how to read. So
here you're homeschooling 5 kids, and then it's, well, I don't know how many you're homeschooling. I doubt you're homeschooling your toddler, but maybe you are. But here you are, you're homeschooling. You've got your day job as an artist, and now all of a sudden you're doing this movie. How do you get all this into your schedule?
That's a great question. I would love to know how we do it. The movie was a really cool opportunity because we were homeschooling last year and we didn't have any tours, planned because life was still a little crazy. It still is for, with the world being what it is. Mm-hmm. And so we had just finished Christmas and we got a phone call and it was like, can you be in Oklahoma in 2 weeks and film this movie? And I was like, well, I don't know. Can I bring my family? And just the fact that they were homeschooled made it possible. So we went and basically just lived in an Airbnb for a month in Oklahoma, and just the coldest, windiest time of year. And we homeschooled, I wasn't on set every day. So we were able to take some little day trips and just kind of learn as we go. And the flexibility of that was really beautiful for us to know that you can make these things work. It just takes some creativity, you know?
So tell me about God's Not Dead, We the People. Tell me what that's all about. Tell me why you decided to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this film is really important. I think in the climate that we live in, it's a film that reminds us how important it is to, to stand up for what's right, and our freedom to educate our kids the way that we see fit as parents is a big one, and that's sort of the focus of the film. But I think you could sort of insert anything you're passionate about into that little slot and recognize that this film is about that. It's about freedom. It's about what our country was founded on, and I was honored to be asked to be in it. It's a really special film. There's a lot of interesting storylines aside from, the parents going to Washington and fighting for our freedom. There's a lot going on that sort of ties in with the rest of the franchise, of the God's Not Dead franchise. And so it's really moving, and I'm honored to be part of it.
So tell me about your role in the film.
I play a homeschool mom named Rebecca McKinnon. Really hard, to get into the role, because I'm just kidding. My husband we read the script, and he was like, "You're not going to have to act. This is just your life."
Yeah.
So I help run a co-op, which our kids are in a co-op. I don't run it in real life, but with David White, who is the pastor of the church, and he's in all the films, he's a producer and all that stuff. So we run this homeschool co-op, and kids come and we teach them, and it's a really sweet role. We have so much in common. Rebecca has 2 kids, and I obviously have 100, but we both love the Lord, and we both love teaching our kids. And so it was a fun role to play. She's a really strong character, and had some really sweet moments.
So you identified with the role, but did you identify with the, as far as the character is concerned, with what she stood for?
Absolutely. Yeah. As someone who was homeschooled and really believes in it, and, is passionate about it and wants to be able to, give that opportunity to my kids, and seeing how other nations are already banning it. France just banned homeschooling starting in 2024. I think it's been banned in Sweden. It's something that I can see, the enemy really going after, because if children are being discipled by their parents, obviously good is going to come from that. And so, it's not something that's being threatened here in the U.S. truly yet, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And so just kind of bringing that to light and reminding people that as parents, we don't co-parent with the government. We parent our kids. And I think that's really important. And so having that choice matters. And it was easy for me to say yes to that role and what the film stands for.
So is this something that you're going to, being in films, acting in films, is this something you want to do more of?
I totally would. I think it would be super, super neat. And looking at how, I know people are starting to tour again, but how sort of complicated that is right now. Having the freedom, not wanting to be gone months and months and months out of the year, but doing something like this could be a really neat thing. And it's my background. I grew up doing a lot of theater, have only done one other tiny small film role before this, but it was sort of this brand new challenge. I mean, every day I'm like asking my colleagues, like, what does that mean? What is that term? I've been in an industry that I understand up and down, left and right for 14 years. And then I'm kind of thrust into one where I know nothing really. And so it was exciting, because every day I was learning, and people were so kind. Really, what a great casting crew. And, we got through winter during COVID and everyone was healthy. Like, it was just a great experience. So really, I would love to do more.
Well, you bring up something that, we've been talking a lot about, and that is, the art of pivot. And so many folks have had to pivot for a lot of reasons over the last few months because the world has changed tremendously.
Right.
I've even been talking to a lot of leaders, a lot of church leaders, and they have to pivot because a lot of folks aren't going back to church. A lot of folks are, they say it only takes 28 days to rewire your mind.
Right.
And let's face it, a lot of folks have done things differently over the past year and a half. And oh my goodness, I mean, who even remembers how to, I've got, I started walking the day that this whole thing began because I thought I was going, as a single guy, I thought I was going to go out of my mind, not going out to dinner, not going to church, not going to clubs, not going to, all of a sudden you're like isolated. And that was weird. And so I just decided to walk, and I started at 3 miles and 4 or 5. Now I'm up to 8 miles a day. I never walked in my life prior to that, other than, to the refrigerator. So,
right.
Now I cannot imagine. I mean, I go out, rain or shine, unless it's lightning, I go out and walk every day, every night. But so many of us have had to think differently, just like you, no touring. I mean, who would have ever thought? I mean, the only even the legends that haven't had a hit in 50 years go out on tour, but but now
True.
It's been like it's been so different. So it's really cool. I mean, you're pivoting by thinking, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do something different. Maybe I can stretch a bit. And so talk to me about that, about stretching and about the fear that you got to work through and the oh my gosh, the doubt that you have to work through, because a lot of people are going through this right now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that anytime things change and you kind of have to, you're forced out of your comfort zone, there is that kind of panicky moment, and you can live there or you can just press through it. I think for us as an industry, this isn't exactly what you asked, but it's interesting. Touring had become so overdone, honestly. I mean, you joked about it, but everyone going out all the time, that I think it's been a really good thing for everyone to have a little bit more perspective and just kind of take that break. I think we all needed to do that and realize, what are we doing exactly? And perspective has been a huge thing that's come from all this for me. If we had been going along life as usual, I wouldn't have even had the margin to say yes to something like this. So even just giving ourselves a little more space and a little more opportunity to go, okay, what actually should we be spending our time doing? And that's for anyone, not just a, artist. Like, what is it that I'm doing with my life? Where does God want me? What are the challenges now that are maybe keeping me from doing it the way I've always done it? And what could that look like in the future? And so we've had so many conversations, my husband and I. We actually moved out further from Nashville to a bunch of land, and we have like a zillion animals now, and life looks completely different than it did last year for us. But it's something we've always wanted to do, and it's like, now's the time. So I think it's a good thing to sort of be forced out of our routines. It's just, are we going to stay in the fear, or can we just press past it and trust the Lord, that He's got us?
Yeah, that's good. Hey, I got to ask you, here we are coming up on, we're just literally, Christmas is going to be around the corner.
Yeah.
And I want to know what it's like around your house with all these kids running around.
Oh my goodness, it's the best. I mean, we start talking about Christmas as soon as we're closer to next Christmas than last Christmas. We're like, okay, how soon is too soon to play the Christmas music? And I used to be the person that would not turn it on until after Thanksgiving. And I don't know, something about having kids. We're already thinking about it. I'm not yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Well, it's funny because I knew last year. I know you're going to laugh. I know. Go ahead. I put my Christmas tree up in September.
Yeah, you did. That's awesome.
Well, you know what? I was just in the mindset of needing something to celebrate because of that crazy summer that we had last year. And, we thought we were out of this thing. Think back. We thought we were out of this thing a couple months ago. It was like happy days are here again.
I know.
And then all of a sudden they tell us it isn't. And I'll tell you, it is so weird. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing I have. But I scroll through my Facebook newsfeed now, and it seems like more people have COVID than last year, at least around me, or more people are in the hospital or something weird.
I would agree with that. It does feel like worse than it's been, and it's easy to get fearful and defeated in that, especially when, like you said, you're scrolling your Facebook and literally every single post is about it, whether someone's mad about something or someone has it or someone needs help or someone needs prayer. It's like you can't escape it. And I did feel like most of last year we kind of just lived our lives and didn't think about it too much. I mean, you did, but not as much as it is sort of consuming now, 18 months in, which is a little depressing.
So, if you really think about the past year and a half, what we've gotten through, what your family has gone through, and despite all of the craziness and all the obstacles and all the fear, what makes you grateful for this year?
I think our family really came together in that season. Our kids were going to a sweet little private school when everything shut down, and bringing them home was something we've wanted to do for years and just kind of were afraid to take that leap. And so having that again sort of forced upon us has led to a lot of really good just growth in our family personally and how we've come together in a new way and sort of learned each other. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the time that we've had together and even canceled trips and all of that. Like it's been a blessing to just really kind of get back to what matters and remember, like, be grateful for the things that you used to take for granted, like seeing people, like you said, going to church and all that stuff that wasn't possible, at the beginning. And it's starting to feel like, what do we do now? It's an interesting thing, but I think it's made us all a little bit more adaptable, a little bit more resilient, a little more able to go with the flow, which is never a bad thing.
How have you gotten through this whole thing with your kids? I'm sure that they have a lot of questions, and think about it. If you were their age and this happened, it's gotta. If you were 6 or 7 or 8, I would think, how often does this happen?
Right.
Am I going to have to do this every 5 or 6 years?
Good point.
What kind of things have you gone through with your kids, and have you explained all this to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that at the beginning, it was definitely something that, they asked a lot more questions about. We talked about a lot more. It was so unknown for everybody. But it hasn't really, since homeschooling, it hasn't seemed to affect too much. Our church has been open for a good while, and they haven't been in school, so they haven't really had to figure out masking every day like a lot of kids have and that whole thing. So it doesn't really come up in conversation a ton. Most of our family has all had it, and different times when we had to not see them for a holiday or stuff like that. But it hasn't been something that seems to have affected them too much, maybe as much as other kids, just because of the lifestyle that we have. But every once in a while, one of them will say something, is this because of COVID? And they're like, yeah, this isn't normal. This is just because of COVID. Or something will be closed. Or even when, things like we're getting better and we thought, we're doing more, but you go to a museum or something and an exhibit is closed and it's like, why? Well, because of COVID. I don't know. They just still haven't opened it. Like that kind of stuff. So very minor for my kids. And I'm thankful for that. But I mean, it's a good point, especially my 5-year-old. It's probably like, oh, is this just a thing that we do? As opposed to, no, this is actually very abnormal. I don't know. I guess we'll see. There's so much of this we don't know until our sweet kids grow up and hopefully are not too damaged from this whole situation, because it has been, I think we're all going to have a little bit of PTSD.
You bring up something that, I mean, obviously this is in these situations, this is a real advantage of homeschooling. Mm-hmm. You can somewhat, I guess a big advantage, you can somewhat control the environment. Mm-hmm. And what goes in their minds and what you can sort of protect them from.
Absolutely.
I mean, just think of this whole debate about the mask thing, on, off, people arguing at school, people saying you're weird, you're, bullying, teachers commenting on it. I mean, you get to shield them from all that. Right.
I mean, it's a huge gift, because I have so many friends who are so stressed out on both sides of the, that whole issue and just what it means for the kids. And I'm very thankful that it's not been something we've had to even think about. It's just, and even the back and forth, they're in school, but they're being sent home for 2 weeks and not really ever knowing what it's going to look like. We kind of know, for the most part, we're home. And so that's taken a load off for sure. And something that I don't take for granted, because I know a lot of people are not in that boat, and it's a lot of stress.
Well, listen, I really appreciate the time. I wish you much success with this film. I know that you're going to be great in it. Tell me, when does this come out?
So the film it's a 3-day Fathom event. So it'll be October 4th, 5th, and 6th. Mm-hmm. And you can pre-buy tickets, or I think day of you can go as well. And then that's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I should know this. But the theaters that do the best, they'll actually continue through the weekend. So we're excited about it. It's a weird time to be releasing a movie. People are still kind of not really sure if they're going back to movie theaters, but we are excited that it's actually going to be in theaters and give people that opportunity. And I actually have a new song in the film.
Oh, you do?
So I do. Yeah, it's releasing to radio very soon. And just kind of worked out perfectly. I had written it years ago for the last record and really felt the Lord say, this isn't for now, you need to wait. But it's been one of my favorite songs for like 4 years. And so second to last day of filming, the director was describing this moment in the film, this montage. And he was like, do you have a song, or could you write a song like this? And he just started literally describing this song to me sonically. And I was like, I might have something already. Can I play it for you? And it was just that sort of perfect moment. And so the song is called God is Good, and that's in the film. And I think we're premiering the music video at the Fathom event. So you'll get to go. You'll see a lot of content. It's not just the film. You'll see interviews and intros and cool stuff. So come on out. We're excited. I think it's going to be a really impactful movie.
So give me a little sample of the song. Give me a little hook here.
Okay. Joy comes, tears fall. I'm learning there is beauty in it all. It's not hard to find it. You just have to look. Oh, God is good.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this has been fun. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, man. We'll talk soon.
The prices for food, fuel, and homes are on the rise. But amazingly, mortgage interest rates are still incredibly low. But how long can it last?
If a cash-out refinance or home purchase is in your plans, the clock is ticking. Give our team at Fellowship Home Loans a call at 800-804-SAVE. That's 800-804-7283. And put interest rates in a timeout.
Online, it's fellowshiphomeloans.com. Save on your monthly payment, take cash out to reduce debt, or or maybe even shorten your term. Don't let inflation break the bank. Call Fellowship Home Loans at 800-804-SAVE. That's 800-804-7283 or fellowshiphomeloans.com.
The Fellowship Home Loans team will take the time to listen and help you live the dream for less. We listen, we hear, and we care.
Fellowship Home Loans. Welcome home.
Intercontinental Capital Group, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender, MLS number 60134.
And thank you, Francesca. God's Not Dead, We the People. Premieres in theaters October the 4th, and it's in theaters for 3 nights only. So get your tickets right now at godsnotdead.com. You can't really forget that one, right? godsnotdead.com. And you can also watch the trailer of the movie. It is riveting. It is timely. It's topical. It's entertaining. And then again, I haven't seen the full movie, but based on the trailer, this one's going to be really good. I think people are going to be cheering in theaters for this one. So make sure you look out for Francesca in the movie. She plays Rebecca. Boy, I hope we see more of her, because she is just such a talented artist and just a wonderful person. It's always great when you see these artists cross over into television and into movies. It's a lot of fun to watch. I know I've had Harry Connick on here before, and I've seen him in multiple films, and it's always fun to see a great artist step into a new role in a new medium and actually pull it off. So I'll be there right in the theater with you guys so on October the 4th, and maybe I'll see if you're in the Nashville area. I'll probably go see it in Cool Springs. So show up and say hi if you see me, okay? That's October the 4th through the 6th. God's Not Dead, We the People, in theaters October the 4th through 6th only. So get your tickets now at godsnotdead.com. I'm David Sams, and this has been CIA, Contagious Influencers of America, from the producers of Keep the Faith. Please do rate and review our podcast. That's how others find out about us, and that's how others decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a shot and listen to it for 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes. It's because of your reviews. They read your reviews, and then they gain confidence that on their walk or their commute to work, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a shot. So if you can give us a review, that would be absolutely great. And you can see other episodes. We have like 130 now. You can go look at our other episodes at contagiousInfluencers.com or wherever you get your podcast. Just go through the menu and you see all these amazing, amazing talents that we've had on our show. So remember, go out there and live that life in living color, because it sure is a heck of a lot more interesting than living in black and white. We'll see you next time.